Talenthoot is we provide events where we invite speakers over to our events to share their personal stories. For me, what I learned the most is through people's stories, through people, how they share their failures, their successes, how they share their accomplishments, how they have personal struggles, or how they have problems that they have in their life, and how they achieve this or overcome these things, these obstacles. And for me, I believe that once the story is shared, something will struck with me. I'm like, oh, I had the same problem before, or I am currently having the same problem, and I think that I can learn something from it. So because all these speakers, they are all from they are SME owners, they are entrepreneurs, they are athletes, can be anyone with stories to share. Because stories, you learn the most from it, right? And I had this really, really good quote, and it says that when one teaches, two learns. So it's not only the speakers, not only the audience who learns, but also the speakers learn as well. Because when you have questions, when you ask questions to the speaker actually benefit. The speaker like, oh, these are the questions that, I have never heard of it. And the more sharing there is, the more it will learn from each other. So we have our first event that's going to be happening in October 1st, which is a Wednesday. And we are still currently negotiating with the venue provider. Once everything is set up, then we will. I'll let you know more in details. If you want to know more about Talenthoot, you may approach me. If you are interested in being a speaker, you have stories to share, you may approach me. And if you have, venue that you think can be a good place, let me know as well. Or if you have someone that you want to, this idea is interesting and you want to tell other people, please let me know as well. That'll be good. Thank you. So what differs is that the good thing about us is that we have a central theme. So for this event at the moment that we are having at the moment, the theme is starting up. So the speakers will be sharing the stories about how they start. Can be anything. It's not about start a business, but how he, for example, maybe he was in a corporate life, how he started to be in a startup life, or how he failed before in the startup and how he actually start his life again to do something else. So many things. And then it has to revolve around a central theme. So that is how we differ from Toastmaster. And it's not just speaker come and speak and then that's it. No, we have a very structured format. So basically we invite 2 speakers a night to speak, and these speakers, they are accredited. At least they have some accomplishments before. And then they will share their stories to us. And then there'll be a Q&A. So 15 minutes of 15 minutes of speech and 15 minutes of questions and answering. So for pitching, from my understanding, that what I'm doing right now is actually I tell you about the idea that I'm having at the moment, right? So, and then you will get feedback from you, like whether the idea is good or the idea is bad, how do you earn money and stuff like that. But for the thing that we're doing at the moment, it's mostly about how he shares his personal experience. And the stories must be informative, must be intriguing, and must be inspiring. That's why you have this inform, intrigue, inspire, because it must at least hit 2 of the 3 to be considered a good story. So that's how it differs. So basically, for me, right, I studied in Singapore for secondary school, and then when I was in secondary 3, I got into a relationship and my result tanked. Because of that, I retained basically. Then, because of that, obviously parents were pissed at me, and then I begged the teacher to transfer me to normal instead. Because in my mind, I was like, okay, when I'm done with normal, when I get my N level, I can go to whichever part of the world and excel and get a new start, right? But that doesn't work because my parents said, no, you must finish O level. So I struggled, and once I get to finish my O level, I went to US to study. That's when I know that, hey, the reason why I fail is not because of relationship. It's because I don't learn as much through memorization, right? For me, I learned the most is through doing work, like project works. When I was in US, I learned the most from project works and from doing presentations like this. That's how I benefit the most. And I come back here, and then when I attended a lot of seminars, that's when I found out, hey, so many events out there in Singapore, they are talking about get rich quick scheme. They talk about MLM. They talk about, okay, it's a free seminar, but then you have to come and join our course for, like $500 to join our course. And I think that is something that is not beneficial. And there is one time where I was sitting down in a Starbucks and I learned something from the guy who sit directly beside me. They were talking about a relationship that they had, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, I want to learn. So I asked him, like, I want to be part of your engagement. He said, okay. He said, fine. And I go through, the whole thing, and I was like, I learned so much, and maybe this could work. Maybe I could learn the most from stories. That's when I got this idea. So that's my journey. We will record the course online, and then we will distribute it out in our platform. And then obviously there will be some people who will come from, maybe there'll be a speaker coming in from different parts of the world, or we will go over to different parts of the world to have this story session, maybe in Indonesia or in Malaysia, or things like that. So you guys can come in to our website, to our platform, and then watch the thing and be inspired.